Oh man, that right there was an introduction to a documentary called Elephants in the Living Room. It's about a police officer named Tim Harrison who rescues exotic animals. Now, I'm going to tell you off the hand that this is going to be a very kind of a somewhat different episode. All right, we're going to talk about music and the way it kind of works with the documentary. We're going to talk a little bit about his history with animals, and more on, we're going to talk about some history of rock music with him as well, because he has actually is associated with a few bands. So we're going to bring him on. He's here right now. His name is Tim Harrison. Here he is.
Hey, how you doing, young man?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Looking forward to this interview.
I've been looking forward to this as well, man. I've been prepping a lot, because again, it's been a little different. And I've been watching your documentary a lot. And hey, I already got a fan here saying hey to me. How you doing, Chandler? It's good to see you. This guy, he knows a lot about rock music as well. I see a lot of his videos. He's funny. Here's also another fan of mine, Emma. I look forward to seeing Bret Michaels with you.
Down the road, yep.
Oh yes, you should come with me.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
But yeah, exactly. Like I said before, I've been studying like crazy, trying to be sure that I know your documentary as good as I think I do. I watched it twice, so there it is.
Yeah.
You run an organization called Outreach for Animals. So tell me a little bit of how you got involved with that, company.
Well, I started off, I was 16 years old working for a veterinarian, and he was a zoo vet. So it ended up, I go out with him every once in a while. This is back in the 70s, would find a python in the backyard, or somebody has a bear chained up back behind their barn. So we go out and we rescue these animals. Well, when he ended up marrying his high school sweetheart, he moved out of the area back to Colorado. So the police kept calling me all the time. So that went on I've been doing it for 47 years now. Well, when 2001 came along, 1995 started showing, reality TV came along, Steve Irwin and all that stuff, and people started imitating what they saw on TV. I went from 5 calls a year of the most dangerous creatures around to 212 the very next year because of people imitating what they saw on TV. I just say 101 Dalmatians. When you say that, everybody runs out and buys a Dalmatian pup because they watched the movie. And then they dump them off at the pet store when they don't want them anymore. Or the Humane Society. Well, that's what happens, a knee-jerk reaction. It's like the show Jackass. When people used to see the Jackass show, I'm a paramedic. I was a police officer, firefighter, paramedic till I retired. I said, we have these Jackass-type injuries all the time, because people would imitate what they saw on TV. So it was one of those things, and I thought, man, I got to get a nonprofit started here because we're having so many more rescues, and I can't take the money out of my pocket. I'm just a, fireman, police officer, paramedic. That's all I do for a living. Mm-hmm. So we ended up opening up. We started, my partner Russ Muntz and I started Outreach for Animals in 2001, right around there, 1999. And we started working and getting that developed into an educational programs out there. We rescue animals. We also do, we try to teach our mission is teach proper behavior around wildlife because it's not being shown on TV. Anytime you're teasing an animal till it attacks you, that's not educational. That's not conservation.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, I definitely agree that, if you see an animal, a big animal, your instinct is to run usually, but you should actually stand still because they're going to attack you if you run.
That's right. Natural instinct will kick in, especially with large predatory animals. You'll see on the movie trailer, if people don't, if they just get on the computer later and get in, look at the movie trailer, The Elephant in the Living Room, you'll see a tiger run across the parking lot and jump up and grab me. If I would have ran, I've been around these cats, like I said, for 47 years, bears, venomous snakes. If I'd have ran from that tiger, the instinct for that tiger would be to knock me down and grab me by my throat. Mm-hmm. So that's the instinct. It's like, I say that if people don't understand it, we'll say, well, I'll take your house dog, right? And just go out there and run him like crazy, play with him. And then he's huffing and puffing, sits on the porch. You sit on the porch. All of a sudden, you just get up and run. What's your dog do? He goes, oh, man, I got to get up and run. I got to chase him. That's natural instinct.
Exactly.
That's the same with a big cat, except they're 400 pounds.
Right. Hey, a good little comment here from Emma here. Something you probably would appreciate. She said that her mom is a vet assistant. She grew up at her work, so she really appreciates what you do, and she is considering going into primatology when she graduates.
Excellent, excellent. Tell her that if she follows Outreach for Animals and go back a few years and just look at some of our rescues and stuff, you'll see quite a few primates. Sadly, primates are very popular pets to the point that we have it. After we pass, I've helped written a law called the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which we'll talk about later, to keep big cats from private homes. Our next one is already signed and ready to go through the House of Representatives after we get the Big Cat Public Safety Act through, is the Primate Public Safety Act, because there's so many of them out there in people's homes. And we do need her to step up and take care of these animals, because there really is not that many places for them to go right now.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Well, I do want to talk a little bit more about your documentary, but I also kind of want to talk about the music that was kind of involved with that. You kind of had a little run-in with a very well-known composer, actually. His name's David Russo, and he's known for doing things for the show Gotham, Pennyworth, but he's also done things with Stevie Nicks, which is amazing.
That's my generation.
Exactly. Fleetwood Mac, which I actually just bought an album recently, Dance. I had to, because I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and saw Stevie Nicks stuff, and I just went But also Rage Against the Machine, another one of many good bands for the 90s. So yeah, Dave Russo's done quite a bit of good stuff here. How did you get him involved with this film?
Well, it's weird, because when we were starting to do this documentary, we really just started grassroots. Mike Weber, who actually is a director and producer, he actually does Lionsgate Films, 20th Century Fox movies, regular movies. And he read my books, the two books I had, Wild Times, Tales from Suburban Safaris, and Wildlife Warrior, More Tales of Suburban Safaris. He read those and said, I want my first documentary to be about this. If any of that stuff's halfway true, this is going to be a blow-away documentary. Well, he's the one that knows everybody in Hollywood. He's worked with everybody. He's connected with everybody. When we started working on this project, we started getting people to come to us and saying, hey, we love this Tim Harrison guy. We're watching some of the stuff you're filming, and we're watching you win some of these film festivals, right? We're like, man, we want to be a part of this. Well, David Russo was one of the top-notch guys for music for movies and TV shows. And he basically is the one that wanted to do it. He wanted to be involved with it, to the point, I can throw that in now, he wasn't used for the new documentary, but he found out there was one, so he had to put some music. He just had to do it. He had
like, hey, wait, don't forget me, guys.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is that he's a very emotional and compassionate man that knows right from wrong, and he knew this is what needed to be done, and he stepped up when we needed it most. And his music, just like you heard at the beginning of the film, that's my theme. I'm going out on a call, tiger in somebody's basement, maybe, we don't know yet. And it just starts off like, I'm driving along, all of a sudden you get that intense music. Almost gets, I've got hair, my hair is raising up on my arms, because it starts changing. And you get that feel. You even said it, Sebastian, you get that feel that something's coming on, and then there is something coming on in the film, because he knows it, he's seen it. He watches the film and he puts the music to it. You cannot have a documentary or a movie without the music. The music is the most important part, and you have to have a person that has that compassion for the animals, or compassion for Thor, or compassion for the Avengers. It has to be an individual that loves what they're doing and what they're being involved with.
Right, and it definitely, and something you mentioned there, the song "Roll Call," from the intro. You mentioned that right off the case, that song, it gets you pumped up. You're rolling. You're getting ready to go outside and do your job. But at the same time, as you open that door, you see the sunlight and it fades. You're like, wait, what am I going into?
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
I think that tune really hits you.
Yes, it does.
Another tune that really stood out in the film was Cubs. This is what kind of involved when the lions, the lion cubs, were born. This one really hit me, and it kind of made me cry a little bit, because in the film, as I was watching it, apparently Terry, the owner, did not know that the lion was pregnant, and Michael didn't know what was going on, and he had to kind of peek in to see, whoa, what's going on. And when you see that scene and then the music hits, it's like, whoa, it hits you.
Oh yeah, it's like a punch in the chest. The really part about that is I didn't want to go down that day. I had been working as a paramedic and a fireman and cop, and I was up all night. And I went to bed, and I said, "Nah, we'll just go another time." I went as soon as I started to fall asleep. Something told me, the Holy Spirit or something said, "Get up, go today. Something amazing is going to happen. Get up." And I got up. And I called Mike. Let's go. We got down there. We had no idea she was pregnant. We just know she was stuck in that trailer for 6 months.
Mm.
And oh my gosh, when I walked up here and saw when she reached out, almost snatched me a couple times, and I realized there's something in there. There's the cubs just born. If you remember, Sebastian, the umbilical cords were still hanging off.
Yeah, they were.
And the blood was still on the floor.
And what
amazing,
I find even
amazing,
But what I even find even more amazing, and in fact, you guys hit this right there on the extra deleted scenes. How a male lion or a male animal usually would eat the babies, because he wants dominance. Mm-hmm. There's the male lion, being all friendly and just caring for him. I'm just like, I have never seen a male lion do that.
No,
is different.
That was an unusual lion. Lambert was an unusual lion. Let's don't give away what happened to him though, but he was an unusual lion, and it broke my heart what happened to him.
Oh yeah, that part got me.
Yeah.
Of course, all the other stuff that he did was amazing. I really like "Connected," which I believe was the beginning song of, you're in the driver's seat, you're talking about who you are, and then it kind of cuts back and you're hearing this like 911, yeah, what's your emergency? And everything's explaining why that song's happening, and I was like, connection.
Yes.
That's the intense moment.
Yep. And I love what you said there, Sebastian, because I've got so many people. This film has got awards all over the world. We actually won the Genesis Award, which is the highest you can get in animal documentaries. Mm-hmm. We beat Oceans from Disney.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And people all over the world would email in or call on the Outreach for Animals number and say, "I'm still crying over the music. What happened, but the music's in their head." That we were teasing about it. That stays in your head. Remember we talked about that, Sebastian? How it stays in your head forever and ever. And that's what people don't realize. A rock song, I love it. It stays in your head. You'll remember that from when you dated your first girl, and but when it gets to the documentary or a film, that remembers. I just have to throw out 1975 when I graduated, Jaws. Dun, 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 dun. I don't get goosebumps. I even dove with sharks. I went out and did productions where IMAX with sharks. Never had any problems, but that music is still in my head, no matter where I'm at. I'd be in a swimming pool, I tell you.
Well, trust me, if I was in the ocean and I saw a fin and that song came into my mind, I'd be like, oh nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite tune from this from the documentary? I mean, I know you mentioned Roll Call, but what else do you like?
I actually like the rock and roll music too. I like the Black Cadillacs. They've got a song called "The End," which was kind of written about, kind of like what we did in the film, kind of thing. It's at the end of the film during the credits, and it still brings tears to my eyes because I tried. And part of the song is we did the best that we can. Mm-hmm. It's basically, we did the best that we can, and I'm hoping that's good enough for right now. And it just brings everything back at the end of the movie. And there's a happy ending, as in the credits. And the music just hits perfectly. We did the best that we could. And, I'm sorry I can't see some of you anymore. Maybe someday we'll see each other again.
Right. That song really did connect well, especially how Terry, and is helping you guys put the lions into the truck. And he actually, joins the prayer circle.
Yes.
And when he does the prayer, well, it wasn't Terry. I forget who did the prayer actually.
Oh, Big Russ Clear, the Hell's Angel.
It was Russ. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Big Russ.
That guy's funny.
He is. He's great, isn't he?
Well,
he's passed on too. That's the sad part. He died of cancer 1 year after the film.
Oh, wow.
It just killed us. He was like, people have a chance. Please watch the trailer at least, and you'll see Big Russ on there. What a great guy. He was a Hell's Angel. Went to prison. Heck of a story. And he I trust him with my life. He was a great guy.
Oh yeah. I think he was a cool guy. I thought he was funny. Yeah. I mean, he was a kind of a softie. I mean, he did. I mean, he's this big, bulky guy that you don't want to mess with. But here he is looking at the lines like, I ain't getting in there. I was like,
because he saw the extras. He just said, he goes, if that lion charges me like he did me. He goes, if that lion charges me, he says, I'm gonna have to take a bath, but I have to clean myself. But what I'll tell you real quick is that it wasn't put in the movie, but he leans up the fence. He was still wired. And Mike, we're way back. He turns the camera on and films it at a distance. And he didn't know it. We were on. He's on. He leans in. He's looking at Lambert. He's crying. Big Russ is crying. They got to remember, he's a Hell's Angel that killed people. And he's 310 pounds, top power lifter in the world. He's leaned on that fence. He goes, I know why they put me in a cage, buddy. I don't know why they put you in one. He's crying. Very emotional. Very emotional.
That's very powerful, actually.
He was a softie.
Yeah. Well, again, and just getting back to that prayer, the way the prayer was and the way it ended, and with the song, it was very soft.
Oh yeah.
And then it fades into the flag to the credits. It was just like, good ending, good job. Yes, you guys did the best you can. I mean, what else could you have done?
Yeah.
I mean, not much. I mean,
there's nothing else. The only thing that could have been done is if the Lions would have been killed, but if they didn't, we were able to find them some spot.
Oh yeah.
To retire.
And I've seen a lot of crazy things in this film, not just Alliance, but from other stories that you mentioned. Here's one story that was kind of funny. This was in the beginning, and I want to kind of talk about some of the stories in the documentary before we go back to some of the music stuff that kind of had a connection to. In the beginning, you mentioned that there was a lady with a big, huge python inside her walls, trapped for 28 days.
Yeah.
You got to tell me this story. How the heck did you get this thing out of the walls? And how the heck did that thing survive? I mean, that thing's in the wall.
Yeah. What they do is snakes have a tendency to do that. It was actually a red-tailed boa, but it's huge. As you saw, it's pretty good size. Well, what happened was you saw her son, the guy with the tattoos all over his back and everything, the big guy. He actually had the snake. He moved back in with Mom. Mom's in a wheelchair, and the snake escapes. The story is the snake pushed his body up against the side of the crappy cage he had it in, and he popped it, got out, and got into the ceiling wall.
Oh, wow.
So they could see him every once in a while. He'll come out, his head will come out and go across the top of the ceiling. And they would call for help. The police would show up. There's nothing they can do. Call an exterminator. They said, we ain't showing up, right? So they called me. I'm always the last resort. So I show up. We see the snake, but it's inside the wall. We had to start tearing it down. Well, we couldn't get to it. It kept going in deeper, and I didn't want to tear her house up. I said, well, tell you what, call me when you see the snake again start to come out. Call me. Do not bang on the walls, because snakes feel vibrations. They don't hear. They feel vibrations. Sneak out. Call me on your phone. I'll be over as fast as I can. I'll get that snake out. So it took 28 days before they called me again. And all the time, that woman was in a wheelchair living in that house, scared to death that snake was going to come get her while she was sleeping at night. She didn't have the money to go anywhere else. I kept telling her, it's not going to get you. It's not going to bother you. It's going to stay in the wall. Well, they called me. I got in there, and that's what you saw in the film. I was able to pull it out. And let me tell you something. Reaching inside the wall to grab a snake that size is extremely dangerous. But the thing is, too, is I've done this so many times. I'm used to doing it, and I don't get bit. I have not been bitten. I haven't been mauled. I got a couple of nips every once in a while, but never been mauled by anything. I've been 47 years of doing it. No animal's been killed. No human's been hurt. So I'm very proud of that. But we were able to get that guy out, as you saw. But he had hold of my arm for a while, bending it on the side of the wall. It felt like my ulnar radius was going to snap because he's so strong,
Right. Well, and again, that connects to another story as well, to another snake story. Apparently, a bunch of kids were playing with this snake. They say it was a python, but when you walked in and you told everybody to step back, told the cop to step back too, and you were like, that's not a python. Yeah. What's the story on this one?
Yeah, we had a situation in our area, the Middletown, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio area, where people were selling Gaboon vipers with the world's longest fangs. Everybody look that up when we get off here. It's real easy to do. Gaboon viper, world's longest fangs, 2.5 inches. They were selling it, but they're real pretty snakes. They're really pretty colored. So people would, an average person would think it was a python because it's big and it's thick, and it's got the coloration. Well, these boys found it in a garage in downtown Dayton. So what they did is they picked it up and were carrying it around. Parents, they didn't tell the parents. Well, one kid actually put it over his shoulders.
Alice Cooper style.
Yeah, Alice Cooper style. Or what's the other one?
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake, and the other young lady that's having problems with her dad right now, the singer. But she he was carrying it around. The other one put it on the ground, was driving it around like a car, but he didn't get it upset. It didn't strike at him. So when I got there, they said that the mom said, or the dad said, go show the officer where the snake is. So we walked in the garage and it was between two garbage cans. They just left it in the garage. And the mom thought, and the dad thought it was a ball python. I get in there, as you saw how big it was. I got in there and I about had a heart attack. I really did. I thought, oh my gosh. I saw the tail at first. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I started getting them out of there, as you saw, and went in and got that snake. And they sold the guy. I called the guy on the phone and I asked him, how many Gaboon Vipers have you sold in this area? There's a breeder, sells them, makes a fortune off of them. He said, I sold 45 in the area. I've only found 3. So who knows where the other ones went, you know? But that snake, if it had bit one of those boys or bit an adult, always remember, no hospital has anti-venom. Nothing. You're just done. And that's what makes it so dangerous for people not to have these as pets, because even the zoos don't have them, you know, for display. That tells you something right there. If they don't have them, you shouldn't have them.
And also, one of my fans has popped out of nowhere saying I'm fired. This is a coworker of mine, so don't mind her.
She's fired you, huh?
Well, I fire her all the time, so it's kind of a between thing because, you know, I have the power and she doesn't. Well, so, okay, and then this kind of goes to another more of a personal level with the film. You know, you met Terry and the lion owner.
Yeah.
You saw everything. You saw the situation of what was going on. And I just had this one little question. What made you want to help Terry with the lions? Because the city was going to take them.
Oh, yeah. That's what a lot of people don't realize. When the lions escaped on the interstate and were attacking cars, as you heard the one woman tell you the story, which freaked everybody out. Well, once we got them into this trailer, we thought they were going to be taken somewhere, right? You would think common sense was, right? Well, the state of Ohio and the county says, no, they're not going anywhere. They're staying there. Okay. And then the Humane Society comes in and starts telling Terry, we're going to charge you $115 a day for animal cruelty, keeping them in a trailer. This went on for 6 months. I didn't know it. I thought they were moving on. And all of a sudden I get a call, as you saw in the film, those animals are still in that trailer. So I get down there and the state goes, if you touch those lions, you're going to jail. You're going to be fined. I said, well, find me, arrest me. I'm moving them back into our cage. So we stabilized the cage that they escaped from. We rebuilt it. We did everything we could to make it safer, so those animals could at least get out of that trailer, standing in their own poo, as you saw, up to their ankles, back into something that's bigger, at least at the time, and make it safer until Terry makes a decision whether we can move the lions alive. Because it wasn't against the law at that time to have them. So it had to be up to Terry to make that decision. So I want to make sure the animals are safe first. Then I want to make sure Terry was safe too. So what made me help Terry out originally was animals loose, danger. Now, the second time around was, I'm upset. These animals should not be in. That is cruelty. It's not Terry's fault. Then I find it's not his fault. So we kind of teamed up together. And I just told him, say, listen, come get me. Come get me. I'm moving them. And so I intimidated the state so much, the authorities, that they backed off. I went to the media, of course, as you know, that always helps. They're standing in their own poo, and the governor wants them to stay there. As you saw the governor, how well he was received at the Styx concert when I was there, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah. So governor's like, he backs off immediately. While they're in the process doing their political game, I moved the lions out with my partners, right? Put them in the cage, and a real quick side note, Terry was killed 1 year after the film too, in a very sad truck accident with the train on his own property. And he was actually knocked from that truck when the train hit it onto Lambert, where Lambert was buried. So the state also said, nope, you can't bury anymore. He wanted to be buried next to Lambert on his property. Nope, can't do it. Well, guess what? Uncle Tim steps in. Yeah. Oh yeah. As you saw in the extras, he was buried next to Lambert. And I told him, find me, arrest me, have fun with me, right? Nope. No. Sometimes you just have to do the right thing.
Yep. And in fact, speaking of the right thing, this kind of hit me in one of the film. This really stuck to me because, we're humans, we're dumb. we do stupid things. You said something in the film that you basically said, I don't know if I'm the good guy or the bad guy.
Yeah.
How do you adapt to that? Like, what makes you the decision to help the animal or just leave it be? Or what do you do?
See, that's the hardest question. It's like that this movie has been all over the world. And I get so many responses when I get interviewed in France or Tokyo and in Australia. That's one of the questions. You're asking a question they always ask. That was something that hit people. If they see the film, it's something that's emotional for everybody who watches it. That's my life. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Should I let the escaped cougar go free? Or do I catch him and shove him back in the cage again? So am I the bad guy or the good guy? At that point, no. Now that I have sanctuaries now that are on my side, which we didn't have during the film. So if people do see The Elephant in the Living Room, it's on Amazon Prime now. If you see it, we have sanctuaries now. Actors have stepped up. Millionaires have stepped up to help these animals. I don't get anything for it, but the animals get taken care of. So we have places now, 25 big cat sanctuaries now that are accredited. We only had one in the film, one, and that we finally had to work with. So we have thousands and thousands of big cats out there in people's private homes. So I feel that answer to that question now is I'm the good guy. But at that time, man, I don't know. I didn't know. And it's as you can say, Seebass, what if you're sitting in the same position I am, when you question yourself and say, am I doing the right thing by catching this guy and shoving him back in the cage again, and I'm talking cougars now, mountain lions, because they originally were here in this area and they're not going to bother you unless something happens. So I go by the philosophy, just do the best you can with what you got for the animal first and then for the people. Now, I am a human animal advocate. If people want to know who I am, go to humananimaladvocate.com. You'll see who I am. But that's who I am. I'm the only one on the planet that's a human animal advocate in that order.
And speaking of a lot of the rock stars or billionaires and actors that kind of stepped in and helped you out. This is a story you kind of told me a few years back. We saw this band live, and it was a good experience to see what they did to the governor in that one. We saw Styx. You apparently helped out Hannah Shaw, the daughter of Tommy Shaw, who is the guitar player of Styx, who, if any of you did not know that, just to make sure, with a few bears. What did you do to help, and how did you get a hold of her, and what's your story with that?
Well, actually, it was vice versa. Hannah contacted me and said, I heard there's bears up in northern part of New York. There was a guy named Jeff Ash, had a place up there. It was a bad place. And there was a bunch of bears up there. They needed medical treatment, and they needed to be moved to sanctuaries. And there was no money in the pot to do it. So Hannah contacted me. She says, I heard about this. And she goes, what can we do? Kind of attitude. And I said, well, we got to get some donations. Do you know anybody? And I forgot her dad was Tommy Shaw. I really did. She knows, but she loves cats. Her big thing is she's the cat lady, the kitten woman lady. She's written books on kittens and cats. And she goes, yeah, I got an idea. So it ended up, we're in the process of trying to work this with another rescue group, Bobby Brink and Lions, Tigers, and Bears and all of them. And we all get together. I started connecting everybody together. And then Hannah's dad comes in and does a concert and makes all the money for these bears to be taken care of, be moved and taken care of. One concert. And I thought, holy, we need to get this guy more involved with this stuff, right? There's only one concert. We took care of everything. But yeah, Hannah's a sweetheart. And Tommy, I didn't get a chance to go talk to him or go up and hug him or anything like that. But he knows of me and he knows what we do. And he likes The Elephant in the Living Room and the documentary. And the thing is that that's the people I'm talking about. Once they see it, once they're getting emotionally hooked into it, they can't help but help. We had one of the actresses that helped us out with a bunch of animals was Dashanelle, the woman from the TV show Bones. She caught me when we won the Genesis Award. She caught me coming back into the green room after we won the award, and she grabbed me. She's as tall as I am. And she grabs me, looks me right in the face, and says, "You will hear from me. You will hear from me." I said, "Okay, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it."
All right, okay.
Yeah, but I've had so many people tell me stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go through the actors and actresses that like to talk. You'll never get nothing from them. Political figures are even worse. They are even worse. So I didn't think anything of it. And all I did was put something on our Facebook. We needed some surgery done on some tigers and some bears. Boom. She's right there.
Calls you up.
Yeah.
And those are the people I respect, because those are the people that I think are real. I mean, Tommy Shaw, great guy, great band, one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, mine too.
I mean, you and I went to go see them, and you know, you gave a copy of your film to one of the guards to see if he would give it to Tommy.
Yeah,
we don't know if
he can get back in there. Well, he's already seen it before, but I thought I could use it to get back in there. The problem was the governor had sealed off that whole area with police. There was no way to get back in there because we had to get to Kim. It's the only way. I should have called Hannah, but I didn't want to bother her. I just don't like, I play that game too much. But, we've been back with other band, we go back and see them there because people knew who we were. But, yeah, it would be nice. One of these days, he'll probably be back in the area. And we might have to reach out to him again because, Hannah does a lot of good work. So, I got that. And as soon as this new documentary comes out to the public, what's going to happen, Sebastian? Everybody's going to want the guy from the film again to help them, like the last film. So when that happens, I'm going to need help again. And I'm going to reach out to Hannah, and we'll see what we can do.
Now, speaking of the new documentary that is coming out, what's kind of different with this one to this one? Like, what's this one about?
Yeah, this one, in fact, it's unusual, too, with the music. I'll bring this up real quick. The two guys that was doing the music, let me get their names here. They've done a lot of good stuff, too. But, man, I'm telling you, one's named Paul Brill, and the other one's Michael Leon Hart. Michael Leon Hart. They've done quite a few movies and documentaries and stuff. They got an unusual way of putting the music on. They get to know me a little bit. They got to know me. And then that's before they even saw any of the footage. They were writing songs about the stories I was telling them. And I'm like, man, how do you do that? And all of a sudden I listen to some of that. I'm going, oh, man, this is good stuff, right? It's because of the emotion, the compassion that I'm telling the story. They're like, it's clicking in their head and they're playing, they're listening and playing and listening. Oh, yeah, we got this. I'm like, oh, how'd you get it from me telling a story? But, yeah, it's more, this one here, it's called the conservation game. Mm-hmm. It's more about what happens to endangered species in the United States of America. Why is a snow leopard more in danger sitting on the lap of Jack Hanna or David Salmoni on the Ellen Show than it is in the wild in Nepal, Himalayas, and up in the mountains in India? That more of them die here in the United States of America, by leaps and bounds more than there is ever happening by poachers or anything in the wild. Because I know for a fact when I worked went over and worked with the tiger projects and worked with all the big cat stuff in India and Nepal, you can't touch the animals over there. If you do, you're going to get shot by the anti-poaching teams over there, or you're going to go to prison. Over here, they're handing snow leopards, only 100 left in the wild, handing snow leopards to people at the Milwaukee baseball game to get your picture taken. They're having VIP parties, $1,500 for people to show up in gowns and tuxedos to walk around with a snow leopard or a tiger. And it's like, and you tell people this in those foreign countries over there, they're going, no, you're lying. Then I get my little iPad out and show them. They're like, oh, no, they got tears running down their faces. All the battling we're doing over here to save these animals, and they're like a joke over here. They're exploited like out the kazoo. And I said, no, this is going on all the time. So this was about what happens to these animals after their expiration date. Once they reach a certain size, where do they go? They always tell you on these shows they go to a zoo, right? They go to a zoo. Well, they don't. And that's what I'm telling people, come watch it. It's already won the Santa Barbara International Film Festival Social Justice Award. It's the biggest one you can get. And it's already blown everybody away already. We haven't got it out to the public yet, but we showed it to, if you get on Outreach for Animals Facebook, you'll see we were just in Washington, D.C., showing it to senators and congressmen, private and the media, and the heads of the animal groups. Mm-hmm. And we just blew them away. So we're looking to get the Big Cat Public Safety Act passed. And please look it up. You'll see it on there, and just go back and you'll see I'll be shaking hands with Congressman Quigley. We worked on the bill together. And we're hoping it's going to work, but when you see it, you're not going to believe it. And we've had the best reviews. If you want to see, go to theconservationgame.com. Look at the reviews, look what went on, and then also you can go to the Conservation Game Facebook to find out more about it. But it is kind of a follow-up to the Elephant in the Living Room, really,
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we woke up the world to what's going on. Now we woke up the world by who's doing it. Why
yeah.
are these things
You're
happening?
you're showing like, okay, now here's the people that are responsible for all this stuff.
Yes, and it's going to be your favorite conservationist.
And kind of wondering with the music that you mentioned, with the two new guys, you mentioned
Yeah,
David Russo
yeah,
found out about it, and he was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
yeah. He wanted to jump in and do something.
So
Yeah,
what was his?
his heart belongs to the cats.
Uh,
His heart's there with the animals. It is. And a good man. Good man.
so what was his? Am I allowed to ask? What was his tune in the new film?
To tell you the truth, I haven't really watched the film yet. Everybody else has seen it. I've been out talking to the media. Every time it's shown, I go and I have to go talk to the media out here that's already seen the movie while other people are watching it because it's only been shown 3 times. It's one. Funny part of it is it was at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. It was 1,400 of the best documentaries from around the world. They chose 7, which I thought was great. That's good enough for us. Wow, that's great. Top 7 in the world. Then we won. So all of a sudden now we sold out the very first day. None of the major motion pictures you're seeing coming out, none of them sold out at the Santa Barbara National Film Festival. We sold out the very first day. And the cool part was they have drive-ins along where the ocean is, with palm trees up and these computerized screens. The people will pull in because of the COVID, will pull in with their cars, and you see it's beautiful. It's got the screen up there with palm trees in the ocean behind. And people just pack it in. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. I'm thrilled, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit how people have fallen into this. It's as one said, one of the advocates said, one of the writers said, Tim Harrison is the antidote to the Tiger King because she said the Tiger King is poison. Tim Harrison's the antidote. So I love that one.
That's a good analogy right there. I mean, you are the cure. He's the poison. Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I've known Joe Exotic for 20 years. And he's something else. It was a freak show. If you do watch if you ever seen the Tiger King, you'll hear my voice in the very first show. You heard me say a couple sentences the very first show. I was supposed to be in that freak show, and then I didn't like the director. I found out some bad things about him. I pulled out. Thank God I did. And I did this other documentary, which is it's a masterful documentary. And like you'll see some of the reviews from some of the people that actually hate movies could give us 4 stars out of 4, but they actually said, this is Hamlet right here for documentaries. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It's funny to hear that coming from a guy from Dayton, Ohio.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never seen the Tiger King because when I saw the trailer for it, it just shut me off for what he was doing. I was like, why?
Yeah, why is the question? And so you know me too. So you know that's garbage. That's just human. It's all it is. One person from the media that talked to me from LA said, really simple, goes, well, what do you think about Jack Hanna having this problem with these things, these health problems, and Joe Exotic having all this stuff? I said, whoa. I said, I'm not having anything to do with that. I said, this documentary is for the cats. If you'll see the trailer later on, but it even says it. The Tiger King did all this stuff, but Tim Harrison cares about the cats. What happens to the cats? That's what it was supposed to be about, not a human soap opera. That's not what it's supposed to be about. That's not what this new documentary is. It's about the cats. What happens to the cats? We're just showing you, I'm just a guide into this world. Don't fall into that Tiger King garbage, where it's all the people and everything else. I can say real quick, he was giving them drugs and alcohol before he interviewed a lot of these people on that show. As you can tell if you saw the show. Well, the one husband, I know all these guys. I know them all. And he always has a shirt on. But he said, Tim, they told me to take my shirt off every time they film me, so I look more like a hillbilly. And I'm like, that's why I got out of there as quickly as I could.
And I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But that trailer, it just did not look appealing.
Nah,
and I kind of want to go back a little bit towards Elephant in the Living Room real fast.
Yes.
Because we are a little short of time. But my main question is, first off, you did get the cats out. How long did that take you to get out, for them to get out?
That's a good question. You're probably the first one to actually physically ask that because nobody really asked that. It took a solid year. If you remember at the end of the film, that's why I was trying to remind some of the media people. As we're pulling out, Big Russ says, and it's nothing staged. This is exactly what happens. A year and 8 months of my life and a year and 8 months of Terry Brumfield and the Lions. He looks at me, he goes, you know what today is? And I go, what's that, Russ? That's Big Russ. And he goes, today is when the Cubs were born. Mm-hmm. It's their birthday. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even register. And then Mike's in the back filming us. He's like, oh, wow. He's like, this is great. Because Russ was brilliant. Russ remembered everything. He's real good at remembering everything. And I said, that's amazing. He goes, yeah, the day they come, the day they left. And he just goes into he does that little story thing. It was a great little ending. And it was 1 year. So when those Cubs were born to the time they got out. But it's a long year of working, cleaning, darting, cleaning teeth, taking care of the cats. We had to do medical procedures on some of them. It was just and that's not the only family I work with. I had 14 families I was working with. We had 2 other documentaries done. One was with a chimpanzee in a family. And the other was a guy with a house full of venomous snakes. And we chose Terry's story. Now those stories may be coming out in the future. I already told you I can't tell the viewers now, but there is another documentary coming out that's been asked for. Like this last one's been asked for. Funders came up and asked for us to try to do it. Right. That's what this other one's been asked for too, just to finish the stories.
Wow. And you have a lot of documentaries, man, that I don't know about.
Yeah. Well, I've already done it. I was a part of another one that I'm really proud of called The Hidden Tiger. It's one. I think
you told me about that.
Yeah, it's coming out to I think it's Hulu and stuff like that coming out, and I love it because it's not because I'm a little small part of it because I was doing the other documentary, but man, the footage from Nepal and India is unbelievable. The tigers, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking. It's a really good one called The Hidden Tiger.
Yeah. Well, and okay, so real fast, something I forgot to mention. Now, you saw the lion, Lambert, peek his eyes out through that trailer, and you were kind of stunned. So you walk up towards the property. You hear the wife telling you to get off the property.
Yeah, she had a gun in my face, yeah.
You did not tell me that part. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I was filming. That's why Mike was filming to the distance.
That makes sense. How did you gain her? How did you gain her trust? Like, how were you able to convince her? Like, I'm just here to be a friend.
Well, you got to remember, everybody on the planet was trying to get on that property. If people would go back to that time, CNN, everybody was there. Fox, everyone was pounding to get an interview with them. I just wanted to help. So I waited till all the vultures left, 6 months later. I went back and I brought a DVD of who I am. Just a DVD I did of rescues and surgeries we did on big cats and bears. So I brought it. I gave her my brochure. I said, I just want to help. There's going to be a tragedy. You heard me talking. We had to clean it up because every other word was the F word from her. It was not. I love Vicky to death. Love her to death. We're best friends now. But at that point, she was protecting her husband and she's protecting the cats. I love it. I told her. And that's one of the things I told. Yeah, no, I don't blame her. I told her, it wasn't in the film, but I said, I got a lot of respect for you. You stood up to me and you were going to, get off the property. I love it. Mm-hmm. So that's how we connected. So I just gave her the information. I said, look it over. Give me a call. I said, we're going to go down and get some breakfast down the road here. And, back in the little town of Piketon area down there. So I go, just give me a call. Either way. So Terry and them watched some of it. It's only like a 15-minute thing. Watched it, and they called me back. So it does help to have a little video. It does help to tell them you're only there for the cats. I'm not here to cause any problems, which I wasn't. I've done this, 1,000 times probably over my lifetime. Get on property that nobody else can. Mm-hmm. I can tell you story after story where people actually shot at people to get off their property, and I'm able to get on the property. I just did it before Christmas with a pair of breeding tigers and a pair of breeding lions right over in Indiana. Mm-hmm. Got them off the property.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I respect about you as well is, you were calm compared to other people. People would either run or say, oh no, you don't. No, you were, and you being a martial artist as well, you were just calm. You didn't like show off your moves or anything. You were just like, I am a friend.
Yeah. That's why I came as a friend.
And the fact is that's what we need. We need people to just be a friend, not get up into people's business like that.
That's right.
And I
That's
think
right.
that's what we're missing in the world is people just don't have that anymore.
You're absolutely right, Sebastian, and that's a problem right now, as we have in society. See, I'm a human animal advocate. You can't get anything done with animals unless you go through human.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never had a person repeat in 47 years. I never have them go buy another tiger after I get them off, or go buy another exotic animal. No, they're my biggest cheerleaders. If I have a problem, I'll call somebody up and say, hey, Bobby, you had that chimpanzee Tarzan. Hey, can you talk to another couple that's thinking about getting one? And they'll call them right up and tell them all the nightmare of having one, right? Everybody wants a tiger, but nobody wants a tiger cub. And after about 6 months of having a tiger, you get baptism in reality real fast. And there's always one thing I always say, like I was just on MSNBC here last month. No, I was on Dr. Oz twice this year so far. I always tell them, I say, listen, yeah, I was on there for a promotional of trying to get the laws passed. But it was funny because I always tell them, I said, you could buy yourself a tiger, but you can't buy common sense.
That's a good. I like that one too. I'm gonna write that one down. Good quote.
Yeah.
There's no common sense in the world, but you can buy it. But you can buy stuff. Got it.
I really would, yeah.
Well, and speaking of, with more, lions, tigers that you've dealt with, there was one picture that you showed me. This makes me laugh because I think it's kind of funny because here's the dog on the left being all normal, like he ain't barking. He's just like, that's
his life. That's his life. He's so used to being around him. We got to remember that St. Bernard. This is in Lancaster, Ohio. And if you put that back on again, you can see at the top of it, I actually sent that picture out because everybody was asking me my advice on the Tiger King, what my opinion was. So I sent this picture out. And some people rescue big cats. Some people exploit them. Know the difference. That's all I sent out during that time. But this was one of 6 of these mountain lions that were inside a woman's house in Lancaster. She lived with them in her house. She had 17 tigers in her backyard in fenced-in areas, huge. 12 lions, African lions, 7 wolves, and 1 black bear all by himself. Wow. And we were able to move all those off to 5 different sanctuaries within about 2-week period. And we have to do physicals in every one of them, and we have to do medical procedures on some of them. And they went off to 5 different accredited sanctuaries around the country. So we were able to get them all off. That guy, I'm not carrying a mountain lion out that hasn't been given a little something to take the edge off. So I want people to understand that. Gave him a little ketamine, a little Rompoon. It's relaxed, but he's still moving. People said, oh, look at him. He's going to get you. No, he's kind of relaxed. The guy in the picture with me, Brian Hunt, he actually was an interrogator in Afghanistan for the terrorists. He was one of my ex-martial arts students. He came back and asked me, he goes, hey, you got anything going on? I said, oh, by the way, we're going to be moving some cats. Would you like us strong? How about you follow me? And let's go see if we can get some cats out of a woman's house. So he gets over there and he loved it because he takes that picture and he sat it back when he went back to Afghanistan. He put it on his desk. So when all the sharifs and all of them came in, all the holy men came in for him to talk to, they looked at that picture of him carrying that big cat out. It's like, whoa, and they really liked it. They really thought that was cool. They would talk to him. But yeah. Respect. But yeah, that's just one story out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Mm-hmm. And here's also another picture you showed me. I don't know if I showed this. I don't remember. Here's David Russo working on some
music, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing music. It looks like he's carving something, actually. Like he's in front of a bunch of wood.
He might be making an instrument. But I know from being involved with this stuff, the people that are doing the sound, the music, and everything else, they'll have a tendency to want certain noises, certain sounds to come out too with the music. And I'm telling you, it's really amazing what they do. It is just amazing. Yeah. And I'm still emotionally connected to the soundtrack of The Elephant in the Living Room because it's my life, but also just the style he did of bringing people along with me on this ride I was going through. I was kind of like your guide. And then, I kept thinking, man, why was it? When we won our first film festival, it was only 6 months of filming. I didn't know what Mike did with it. He went off to the Silver Docks International Film Festival in Maryland, and he won. He calls me up, I got enough money now, I won an award here that we could finish the film. In the process of doing that, he comes back, and he shows me what he did. I hadn't even seen anything. And he shows me what he did for the show. It was like 45 minutes or something. He shows me, and what got me right off the bat, because I would think, I thought everything I did was not that exciting to me. I've been doing it for all these years. And I'm watching it. It was the music. I had to kind of lean forward. I'm going, ooh, this is pretty cool. I like this. I like that music.
Yeah.
I like that, the feel of that. I like that.
Yeah, I think David did a great job. And I got to hear this story by you again, just so the viewers would know this. Apparently, David, like you said before, you really never met him, but David met you during, I'm guessing, a movie premiere. Am I correct?
It was our movie premiere, The Elephant in
Yeah.
the Living Room in Los Angeles at Man's Chinese Theater. Yeah.
He snuck behind you and grabbed you and shook your hand like a nervous kid or something, and you were like, "Who's this guy?"
I didn't know who he was. I thought he was just one of the other. There's a lot of celebrities, Everybody, we got everybody from the Heather Locklear era all the way down to the Ryan O'Neal era, and all the way to what we had now. Some of the singers and stuff nowadays, and come up and they all talk to you and they want to shake your hand and get a picture with you because that's the in thing. You're just the in thing. See, I understand that, Sebastian. I'm not. People say, "Oh, Tim, you're famous for being in documentaries, and people know you." I said, "No, I'm infamous, infamous, right?
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't do anything. It's just it gets the information out. And these people all come up and they want to be a part of it for that short period of time. 15 minutes of fame, as they always say, right? So he comes up and grabs me, and he starts shaking my hand. He's all over me, and I'm like, "Hey," And then Mike. Remember, the director says, "Hey, Tim," he goes, that's David Russo, the guy that did the music. And I went back and grabbed him. Hey, come here, man. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. But everybody else was all over him, because he is somebody, So I kept thinking, I just thought he was another actor, But it's funny, though, because I went back after him, and he's all excited. He goes, "Oh, man." He goes, "I listened." He goes, "I have you." He was teasing about, I can hear your voice in my head all the time now. It's in my head because he watches the scenes over and over again. So I'm haunting him.
No, just like the Randy Orton theme. I hear voices in my head. It's your voice. Well, David did do a good job, and this documentary is incredible. I enjoy it. It's very, very touching, especially the way you connected with the animals, how you saved them. I'm glad that they're safe. I can definitely hope that you and I one day can definitely go see the lions. I'd like to go see them.
Yeah, Wild Animal Sanctuary in Colorado.
I can't believe they're still there. It's wow.
Yeah,
and this film came out in 2009, right?
It officially came out in 2010, but it was finished filming in 2009.
Wow.
So that's about 10 years. So it's been, they were only cubs at that time. They're about a year old, so they're only 11 years old, under 12 years old. So they still got a ways to go. They can get up to 20, 24 years old, 25 years old. Now, Lacey, I haven't checked back on Lacey to see if she's still doing good, but she was probably right around there about 5 years old then. So she still could be doing pretty good. That's 15. So she should still be around. Now, they have out there, Pat Craig's place out there, the Wildcat Sanctuary, they used to have video cameras up, and I think they still do, showing the animals, and it tells a story, like every day. You watch. You can just click in and watch,
One of my fans here, Emma, who's been watching the entire time. Thank you, Emma. She says, "Let's plan on going to a road trip and go."
Absolutely. That's how you'd have to do it. You just got to, that's what people don't realize. Every time they say, "Tim, how did you get to do all this stuff?" It's because I said yes and showed up. And we made a road trip and we did it, if you know what I mean. And that's exactly what you have to do. If you want to do something, do it.
Take the opportunity.
Yes, go for it. Because I'm telling you, you only live once. You really do. And you know what I'm talking about, Sebastian. I just had a close call this last year with cancer. And I'm telling you right now, everybody listening, please do your dreams. Get up and do them now. Mm-hmm. Do them now. You will not regret it. Don't be in that rocking chair when you're in your 70s and go, "Man, I wish I went out and saw those lions and Wildcat Sanctuary in Colorado."
Well, yeah, again, it's just like what I'll bring it up because I actually do respect him. I respect his old stuff more, but Eminem said it. If you have one shot, one opportunity, would you catch it or let it slim? No, catch it.
That's a great song. And I had that played for me one time when I was doing a conference. I didn't ask for it, but they put it on, and I came out. And I had not really listened to it before, and it did hit. It hit about right. You got one chance. This is it to change people's minds. And what it was for was some legislation in Oklahoma. That's where Joe Exotic's from. And I did get the legislation started. I went out there and I thought of myself like that poor guy in that video, trying to get his rap song remembered. And he's got his mama spaghetti. You feel like doing that, man. I'm telling you, when you get in front of people that, just hate you, you gotta, man, you gotta be able to just click it on. I always think about people say, how can I speak so well on TV or do things? It's not me speaking, I would go even farther back. I'd say it's a situation where my passion and, Heavenly Father was part of it, but it's just passion for the animals. I don't think of myself talking. I think of myself fighting as I was a world champion martial artist. So I take that same mentality into this world, and it's like I'm fighting for these animals' lives. I'm fighting for these animals.
She loves Eminem so much.
Tony, I kind of like him too.
I like him too, actually. I do enjoy his stuff, especially from my high school days.
Yeah.
But we are running out of time here. I just wanted to thank you. It's been a pleasure to talk more about the documentary. I wish you the luck of the success that the next documentary will definitely have. And I also want to thank, hopefully that you'll watch it. I think you will. I want to thank Dave Russo for making the music in this documentary very, very epic, because he did a great job. I got to give him a lot of credit for it. And also for the bands that were part of it, that song in the end.
Yes. Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Got to give him credit
exactly
for that as well.
It's all the musicians, every one of it. And some people don't realize, like I said, you look at a theme song from Jaws. Look at the orchestra. These people are all, it's like magic. It's like real, it's musical magic.
Yeah. One of my fans said, "See you next Friday, Seebass." But anyway, we're going to end this with the theme of the elephant in the living room. So all of you, take care and keep on rocking.